What's up, guys? It's Dave Ward. Today in our Coach Basics group, we are talking about storytelling and your fitness why. And so I'm just going to tell you a story. On January 26th of this year, 2015, my buddy Greg Plaskett, who's another one of our leaders in this group, and I were in Breckenridge, Colorado, and we were there with about, 16 other guys. We all poured into this massive house and went on a ski trip. And I've been skiing about 3 years, and I guess, I'm getting better quickly. I'm pretty athletic. I pick stuff up, and I skied when I was a kid. But Greg's been skiing a long time. Greg's a really accomplished skier. So the first couple days I was kind of easing my way into this trip as I usually do with this type of stuff. And it was the last day. It was Monday, and the sky just cracked blue. Just a complete bluebird day. Like the color of this wall was insane. And we'd had pretty gnarly weather earlier in the week. And Greg grabs me and he's like, all right, buddy, you and me, we're going to go hike to the summit. And I was like, yeah, you're nuts, dude. Because I know what's up there, and the only way down, it's all double black diamond. That's it. That's all you got. There's one way down, and it's pretty gnarly terrain. And you got to hike to get there. So the lift drops you off at, it's like 12,300 feet, something like that. And then you hike up this freaking wall to almost 13,000 feet. I think it's 12,998 or something like that. So if you can jump really high in ski boots, you can get to 13,000 feet. I don't know if you've ever hiked at that altitude or not, or been above 10,000 feet, but it is really hard to breathe up there. And so I was already really intimidated by the path down, right? I mean, that was enough for me to kind of go, no, dude, I'm not doing that. And Greg wasn't having it. Greg's like, no, yeah, you and I are going. If you're one of Greg's people, you probably know his attitude towards things, which happens to also be my attitude towards things, which is why Greg and I are such good friends. But he wouldn't let me say no to this thing. And so I was like, all right, fine. I'll hike up there. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going on. And I start, and he goes, and I don't know, man. He must be, unaffected by altitude, because he just takes off. And I'm kind of taking my time, figuring out whether I even want to do this thing, because I was really intimidated by the path down. And then I started to look at this wall to get up there, and it's a friggin' wall. It's just this really, steep slope that you've got to hike up, and people have dug in with their boots, have dug steps, but it's effort, man. And I'm like, I get about, 15 steps up the ladder that you're climbing. And I can't breathe. I can't handle it. I'm already intimidated by the circumstance. And I start to look in front of me, and the guy in front of me is getting further and further away, because these are all locals. These people live at 10,000 feet. So another couple thousand isn't that big of a deal to them. And the people behind me are getting closer. And I'm starting to think, shit, what have I gotten myself into? Because I can't turn around. And so at this moment, I'm already intimidated by the way down. Now I'm starting to be intimidated by the way up, and I'm wondering if I even have the physical ability to go down, but the physical ability to climb up this thing. And I just kind of thought to myself, just don't quit. Don't stop. Don't stop. Keep moving forward. And I really couldn't breathe. Every step was a struggle to get up there. But eventually I made it, and Greg was there, and he thought I had bailed. I took so long to get up there, he thought I had bailed on him. And then, we took some pictures together. Maybe I'll attach one at the end of this video, because this is one of my favorite stories to tell. But in that moment, as I got up there, I knew that that's why I work out. That's why I had prepared myself for this ski season. I worked harder last fall than I have for a while, really, doing workouts I don't really like doing. I like lifting weights. I don't really like doing PAP lower from P90X2, or the lower cardio fix from Fix Extreme, stuff like that. Those are the types of workouts I was doing. I don't like those types of workouts, but they put me in a position to be able to not just climb up this freaking wall, but then ski down as well. And why am I telling you this story? I'm telling you this story because I need you to connect to me. And if I just stand in front of this camera and tell you, hey, go tell your story. Your story is where your power's at. Just go tell the story. I bore you to death. You just don't care. And it's so easy to just tune me out. That's what happens when you post a sweaty selfie and say, OMG, my whatever, size workout was so hard today, sweaty. Or you post a picture of drinking Shakeology. Yum. Isn't this great? No one is listening to that stuff. They just tune it right out. But when you tell a story, people start to listen to you, which is why I told you a story, okay? To illustrate the point. When I tell that story, people start to connect with me and they start to go, man, I'd love to do that. I would love to be able to climb that wall and I'd love to be able to ski down that hill, but I can't because I'm out of shape. Now, what do they want to do? They want to talk to me about getting in shape. Now, this is just one example of my life, okay? I've asked you people to tell me what your fitness why is. Some of you have given me kind of fluff answers, okay? To be in shape, that doesn't mean shit to me. I don't know what that means. That doesn't mean anything. I know what it means for me in my body, in my brain, but I have no idea what it means for you. And you probably don't either, which is maybe why people are not paying attention to you. But some of you have talked to me about your kids. I tell stories about my kids all the time. Why? Because a lot of people have kids and a lot of people want their kids to be healthy. Tell some stories. You don't have to do it in a preachy way. I'd avoid that for sure. But it's okay to say, you know what? I'm so glad I picked up the P90X nutrition guide way back in 2004 and learned enough about nutrition that now I can feed my family good, healthy food. I know how to read a nutrition label. That's the type of thing that people are going to pay attention to. So we're talking about telling stories today. We're talking about having a why. First thing is have it. Make sure you know what it is. One of mine is to be able to do stuff like the story I told you. Okay, and I got a million other stories about surfing and mountain biking and cycling and triathlon, because that's the stuff that's important to me. Okay, you got to figure out what's important to you. Then you have to and then I've asked you to find 3 stories about that thing. 3 stories where something changed for you. It may be your own personal health, it may be your mental state, it may be your kids, it may be your athletic performance, it may be fitting into that little black dress, ladies. Now, figure out your 3 stories. Go tell one. Take the other 2 and work on them. Make them better. These are the 3 stories you need to be telling over the next couple of weeks. I do this periodically. I get out my whiteboard, I clean the thing off, and I say, what are the stories that I'm going to tell this month? And I figure out what stories I'm going to tell. Those stories connect people to me and help me with my marketing. I hope that helps you. Let's go tell some stories.